Y'all remember Batman Arkham from the Arkhamverse? You know, the guy who pretty much beat all of his nemesis in half a night and retired? Yeah, well, he dies on a park bench by Harley Quinn. You know, this version of Harley Quinn. Well, what about Spider-Man, right? The guy who can lift up to 10 tons over his head? Well, he had to beg for his life to be spared by Tombstone. Yeah. You know, I've heard something really beautiful the other day. It takes 43 days to climb Mount Everest, but it only takes 1 second to fall from it. Now, I mean, why I'm saying this is because all the cool things that Batman did, for example, would become meaningless because we know when and how he dies. All thanks to character inconsistency. Now, if we take a step back and take a look at another character that was very inconsistent in the comics, I would think of Deathstroke. Like, in one comic, he kills a god, and in another, he gets stumped by Batman's 12-year-old son. This character is so inconsistent that when he appears in a comic or a cartoon, it entirely depends on the writer to determine his threat level. Which brings me to my main point, which is characters' quality and motivations depend on the writer. And unfortunately, some writers are not qualified to write some characters. One story in particular that I have a problem with is Star Wars sequels. I don't want to get in depth because there are a bunch of other channels who have done it way better than me, but what they did in episode 8 was an assassination of one of our beloved characters. And in episode 9, instead of focusing on Snoke, who seemed to be a promising villain, instead they brought back Palpatine so that Darth Vader's sacrifice would just totally be meaningless. In my opinion, if the writers of episode 8 and 9 actually had a closer relationship with these characters or the story in general, none of this would have happened. Now you may ask me, well, what is the solution to fixing this issue? Well, you probably know who Garth Ennis is. If you don't know him, he's the creator of the Boys comic series, and he hates superheroes with a passion. But he has a soft spot for the Punisher. Now granted, if you give him a Captain America comic to write, which is his most disliked character, he would try to humiliate his character as much as he can, and Captain America fans wouldn't like that. But if you give him a Punisher comic to write, he can do a pretty decent job at that, as we've seen in the Punisher Max comics. I think it's up to big companies like Marvel and DC to handpick the best writers for their respective characters. Sure, they have to hire some people to determine that, but it would be a good investment because their sales would skyrocket because the fans would be happy with those stories. And that's my opinion. If you like it, please like this video and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. That's it, and I'm out.